Thank you, Carol. You have been a friend and a mentor to me, as well as a guiding light for many of us throughout the years. I am so grateful to you, Carol. Thank you also to Mike King for his leadership over the last 2 years. I would also like to thank my board of trustees and the Parker entire team for their support and encouragement throughout these years. Most importantly, I want to thank my family. You are all my pride and joy, and I count my blessings every day. Thank you so much. Nicholas and Ariana, Abu loves you. It is an incredible honor for me to be here with all of you and to be taking on the responsibility of board chair for LeadingAge. I deeply appreciate your confidence in me. To be standing on this stage today is truly amazing. You know what? It has been a journey for me. You see, when I was a young boy, I thought that I'd never amount to anything. My early life was spent feeling like I had no future. And then in high school, my guidance counselor confirmed that with me. She told me, Roberto, you are not college material. I was born and raised in a small town in the mountains of Puerto Rico. My parents had 14 children. When I was a teenager, my parents separated, and my mom brought us to New Jersey. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in a rundown and drug-infested part of the town. And every other weekend, there was a shooting or a stabbing at a neighborhood bar right next door to where we lived. We were welfare kids. Many nights, the only thing we had to eat was 2 slices of bread with mayonnaise. It was a struggle. To make things more complicated, my mom's health was poor, and very often I needed to take her to the hospital clinic for doctor's appointments, x-rays, and lab work. We were there so often that the staff at the hospital began to recognize us. One of the pharmacists who worked at the hospital was a very kind Cuban woman named Balbina. Whenever I passed by the pharmacy counter, she would always say hello to me. You know what? I didn't speak English well. I still don't, but so Balbina would speak to me in Spanish all the time, and I loved her for that. One day, Balbina suggested that I become a volunteer at the hospital. I was excited, really excited. And the first thing that I asked her was, do volunteers get paid? And she said, no, Roberto, volunteers don't get paid, but if you work 4 hours, you get a free meal. That sounded great to me. Eating my meals at the hospital meant that my family could stretch the food that we had at home just a little bit longer. I signed up immediately, and every day after school, I went straight to the hospital. I spent as many hours in the hospital as a volunteer as I could. The hospital became a sanctuary for me. It was a place where I felt safe and where I could escape away from that small apartment and the rough neighborhood that I lived in. I remember the volunteer coordinator's name was Teresa, and she took a great interest in me. She helped me land my first paying job. I became a stock boy at the pharmacy, working every other weekend. It was there that I met another pharmacist. His name was Ben Horowitz. He was almost 80 years old. As a young boy, it was amazing for me to watch this man at his age, mixing medications, working in a hospital, and leading such an active life. His capabilities left a lasting impression in me. One day, Teresa and Ben asked me, Roberto, what do you want to do with your life? I did trust them and told them that my guidance counselor had said to me that I wasn't college material, and that 3 of my siblings were working at a local factory and that I expected to be joining them there. That's when Teresa told me, no, Roberto, you are going to college. And Rutgers University is having an open house in a couple of weeks, and I will take you there. Sure enough, she took me and drove me to the open house. Teresa and Ben helped me fill out my college application and my financial aid forms. Ben even paid for my application fee. And guess what? I got accepted. During the weeks, I would go to college, and on weekends, I would work 40 hours at the hospital as a nurse's aide. Working 16 hours on Fridays, 16 hours on Saturdays, and 8 hours on Sunday. I remember to get back and forth to the school, I had an old Chevy Nova. And for those of you who don't speak Spanish, Nova means no go. And I gotta tell you, that was a perfect description of my vehicle. It was broken all the time. After graduating college, I continued to work in hospitals. Eventually, I became an assistant administrator at a county hospital for long-term care and psychiatric patients. I loved the work, but it was a horrible rundown facility. I could not believe what I was seeing in that facility. And I felt terrible because these were seniors who deserved far better care and treatment than what they were receiving. You know what? That's when my passion for serving seniors was ignited. I was going to spend the rest of my career helping the elderly. I'm not sure where the time has gone, but just last month, I celebrated proudly 25 years as the president and CEO of Parker Health Group in New Jersey. Thank you. Here's my point. My mother brought us to the United States to have a better chance at life. That better chance at life would not be possible for me without the encouragement of these three special and caring individuals. And every day, I thank Balbina, I thank Teresa, and I thank Ben for opening doors for me, for giving me opportunities. They saw potential in me. They believed in me when I did not believe in myself. Right now, I want you to think about the people who believed in you. And I'm not talking just family, but a teacher, a mentor, a person who recognized something in you, a person who opened a door for you. Who are they? Think about it. We are here today because someone invested in us. They believed in us and taught us to believe in ourselves. Now it's our turn to pay it forward and invest in others. Thank you. I got a great fan out there, so that's excellent. As you know, it takes a very special and compassionate person to do our work. The question is, how do we invest in others? How do we develop leaders who share our passion for serving others? And it could be as simple as encouraging someone to become a volunteer, or it could be driving someone to an open house at a local university like Teresa did for me. Or it could be helping someone with a college application. Remember, none of us would be here today if it weren't for those individuals who opened doors for us at a critical stages in our life. We must be those individuals for others. Every day we face difficult issues. And by far the most powerful way to address these issues is to look for people in your own organizations who have leadership potentials. Extend an invitation, open a door, help someone to take the first step to a brighter future. Also look at your local schools and universities. Ignite the interest of young minds in your communities. Help them realize the powerful impact and the deep satisfaction they could have through a career in aging services. As your board chair, I'm calling on you as leaders to make a mindset stronger priority. Identify and develop leaders in your organizations and in your communities. Empower them to tackle the issues we all face as providers in the years ahead. Let us commit to lifting up the leaders of tomorrow who will carry on our most important mission of caring for seniors. And together we can build a legacy that will benefit those we serve for generations to come. I look forward to working with you all, and thank you for trusting in me. It's a pleasure being here with you. Thank you. Thank you.